Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching The Breakfast Show live on Nile TV International. It's now time for our second topic of discussion for today, and we're going to be shedding the light, as we mentioned earlier in our introduction, about the international conference that will take place over the situation and the withdrawal of foreign troops and mercenaries from Libya. And this conference is taking place in the French capital, Paris. And to shed more light on this topic, we're most delighted to be joined by Ambassador Mohamed El Shazly, former Assistant Foreign Minister. A very good morning, Ambassador, and thank you so much for joining us on The Breakfast Show.
Good morning. The pleasure is all mine.
Thank you so much, sir. Ambassador, if you can tell us about the significance of the participation of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi in the international conference on Libya taking place in the French capital, Paris.
This is a very important conference. President el-Sisi is participating, and many international heavyweights are also participating. You have the Vice President of the United States of America, you have, of course, the President of France, you have the Chancellor of Germany, you have the Foreign Minister of Russia. All of this shows you the weight and the importance that is given to this conference and to achieve its aims. Its aims are primarily to ensure the success and to lay the groundwork for the elections in Libya, presidential elections due on the 24th of December, which is, by the way, the 70th anniversary of the independence of Libya. The issue is a very complex issue because there you have an election that is taking place in an atmosphere of polarization with the presence of foreign mercenaries, intervention by regional powers, which makes the smooth undertaking of the elections very difficult. I think the objective of this conference is to ensure, to lay the groundwork for the elections and to ensure its success. There are several important factors to be taken into consideration for the success of this mission. Primarily, the evacuation of the mercenaries and the foreign forces from Libya. And this is a very important step because mercenaries is outlawed by the United Nations. The United Nations Convention on the Prevention of Training, Use, Financing, Using mercenaries in 2001. So there you have a 20-year-old convention that is being followed by certain countries. The whole idea is to try to preserve the unity and integrity of Libya.
Ambassador, if you can also tell us about the pivotal role that Egypt is playing in the region.
Egypt is neighboring countries to Libya, and Libya is has always been in the eyes of Egypt, in the sense, I mean, remember that there was a unity between Egypt, Libya, and Syria in the 70s. The security issues, the commercial issues, the prospects that stability in Libya offers to Egyptian contractors and Egyptian companies to rebuild what has been ravaged by war and by instability in Libya. All these are very important incentives for Egypt, in addition to the fact that Egypt has always held a responsibility for stability, not only in Libya, but in the whole of the Arab world and indeed in Africa as well.
Yes, indeed. Ambassador, also during the conference, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi will highlight the need for a consolidated effort by the international community to support Libya during this historical turning point it is going to witness late next month. How do you view the importance of the call or the remarks that President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi is expected to highlight?
I think we can expect a reiteration of the Cairo declaration that has been issued in Cairo last year with the presence of the Libyan leaders, that underlines the importance of preserving the unity and the integrity of Libya. This is, I mean, the crux of the matter for Egypt, the preservation of Libya, the preservation of its unity and its integrity. There are steps to achieve this. Primarily, the unification of the armed forces. You can't have a unified country with different factions fighting each other. You have also the consolidation of the control of Libyan wealth, oil, the gold reserves that were in the central bank of Libya, the trusts of the Libyan wealth. All of these, you have to control. The government has to control all of these in order to be able to govern.
Yes, indeed. Ambassador, your closing remarks on this very important topic as we're wrapping up?
I think the countries involved should bear the responsibility of peace in Libya, because what is happening in Libya is instigated by external powers. External powers are sending mercenaries, are financing violence in Libya, that are supporting politically disunity in Libya. This has to stop, and the countries involved should bear their responsibilities as members of the United Nations and adhere to the charters of the United Nations that prohibit instigating violence and instability in a member state.
Indeed, Ambassador Mohamed El Shazly, former Assistant Foreign Minister, really appreciate your insight and your participation on the Breakfast Show. Thank you so much. And dear viewers, we move on to a quick break and then we'll be back to resume the Breakfast Show live on Nile TV International.